Have no fear. Muscle Mommy is here. Braylon, what are you doing? Braylon, Emily, were you standing on this Gremlins box to try to look taller? You just keep trying to grow up so fast, don't you, baby? In case you guys are new here, I am a mommy. In fact, I am Muscle Mommy, and this is my imaginary daughter. Her name is Braylon Emily. The X is silent, the GH is silent, and the E and the I are both fully pronounced. Braylon Emily is 3 years old, which of course means that pretty soon she's gonna start going through puberty. But Savvy, isn't 3 years old a little young to go through puberty? Yeah, but you guys know what they've been doing lately? They've been putting all these chemicals in the water.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that?
So because of the chemicals in the water, Braylon Emily is going to be going through puberty soon. That along with the fact that she was actually assigned American Girl doll at birth. It means she experiences these processes a little bit different from the rest. But thankfully, there are books out there to teach girls like Braylon Emily all about the changes that her body's going to be going through. Although I'm pretty sure her body's made of like plastic and some stuffed cloth, and she's got a string in the back here. Where are your glands, Braylon? But as you guys know, Braylon Emily has been very focused on the process of growing up and getting older lately. I know this because lately she's been watching Mommy work out, and she wants to grow up big and strong just like Muscle Mommy. In fact, let's take a look at an incredibly inspirational Instagram post I put up the other day about Braylon. Yesterday when I got home from the gym, I was greeted with the heartwarming sight of my beautiful, imaginary 3-year-old daughter, Braylon Emily. She said, "Mommy, what does don't skip leg day mean?" Now, fellow boss moms and mompreneurs in the comments, let me know. Do you think it's more important to be honest with your kids or let them live in the innocence of their illusions? I think it's important to be honest. Braylon Emily knows that there's no tooth fairy, which is why she keeps her teeth in her gosh dang mouth where they belong. Isn't that right, sweetheart? You have 2 whole teeth right here and they're never coming out of your mouth, are they, baby? So I was honest with her. I told her, I'm not like other moms. I'm a cool mom. Other moms skip leg day because they just want to work on their abs so they can look skinny in their viral bathing suit photos where they lie about not being skinny. But I know that leg day is a real priority because if my thighs don't look thick enough to crush bone, how will men know to fear me? Braylon Emily smiled at me and said, "When I grow up, I want to be a buff boss babe just like you." And Braylon Emily, that is why I love you so much. And because Braylon has started to show interest in growing up and getting bigger in this entire process, I think it's time for me to introduce her to the puberty book published by American Girl over 20 years ago. That book is called The Care and Keeping of You, the Body Book for Girls. This book was published in 1998 by Pleasant Company, and while 1998 is now 24 years ago, cue existential crisis, that's okay, because a lot of the truths in here still hold up today for sweet girls just like Braylon. So sweetheart, we're going back on the shelf while Mommy talks with the grown-ups all about the changes your little body's gonna be going through soon. Okay, sweetheart, be good.
Get you some nuts.
There was lots of memes.
Makes me wonder if I should take up lesbianism.
Chicago. You guys asked for it.
What's up, my fellow small business supporters? I'm Savvy, and welcome back to Savvy Writes Books, the channel where we talk about books and business, where today I'm continuing my series of reviewing American Girl doll self-help books. After I've reviewed like 5 or 6 more American Girl doll self-help books, we're gonna move into the fiction books. Don't worry, we will be talking about Kirsten and her friend who dies of cholera. Why didn't more of these dolls die of cholera? The world may never know. But today we are going to be reviewing The Care and Keeping of You, the Body Book for Girls, which is the book where I learned about puberty when I was a kid. So in rereading it to review it today, I was able to reflect on what I thought about it when I first read it going through puberty myself, and now what I think about it in the present day. So it's going to be a lot of fun going through this book. Before we get into that though, please don't forget to subscribe. Every Friday at 11 a.m. Central and many other times throughout the week, I put out new videos all about books and business, so you won't want to miss them. And please also don't forget to ring the notification bell so you'll get notified when new videos go up. And if for some reason and you enjoy hearing me talk, you can join my live stream channel where every morning at 7 a.m. Central Time, I host a live stream morning show to get you up in the morning. Check out Your Morning Guru, linked in the description below. Let's do it. The Care and Keeping of You was published in 1998 by Pleasant Company. And whenever I see Pleasant Company listed as the publisher of these books, it gets me really excited because if you guys don't know, American Girl as a company was one of the main inspirations for me when I went to start my own business, Forever Home Friends, where I publish books and produce stuffed animals all based on real rescue dogs. And I love the idea of a book and toy company existing together. Now, as we all know, American Girl was bought out by Mattel pretty shortly after this book was published, I believe. But whenever I look at it, it just reminds me of the beautiful days of small business eras past. I still love the American Girl store though. I'm going there for my 30th birthday. I got my doll and I matching suits. Get ready. The Care and Keeping of You is the head-to-toe guide that answers all your questions from hair care and healthy eating, bad breath to bras, periods to pimples, and everything in between. With tips, how-tos, and facts from the experts, here's the book that more than 1 million girls have turned to for straightforward advice. Now, from what I remember in reading this book as a kid, I remember thinking it was pretty informative, and when I posted about it on my Instagram story, I got a lot of messages of people being like, oh my god, I loved that book as a kid. That book taught me so much. And I think that books like this really are important because they give a straightforward look at what's going to happen to your body. They don't beat around the bush. Was that pun intended? I'm bisexual, puns are always intended. But I also remember this book and feeling a little alienated at some of the ways that it talked about some of the processes I was going through because I didn't really experience them in the same way, and I guess that just comes down to the fact that everybody's going to be a little bit different. But let's go through this book, take a trip down nostalgia lane, and look at what holds up and what doesn't in The Care and Keeping of You. One of the first things that stood out to me in this book is how much I loved the art. I remember when I was a kid, I would look at this art style where the characters had, you know, these interesting clothing designs, then they had their eyes as just these straight vertical lines, and I thought the style was very simplistic but very fun and vibrant, so I would try to draw tons of art in this exact same style all the time. I don't know where any of it is anymore, and I'm sure it looks like shit, but I just always loved the art style. So we're starting off positive, gonna have a little compliment sandwich here. Alright, let's go to pages 10 and 11. You may feel like you don't have any control over your growing body. Not true. You are the boss when it comes to taking care of these basics. So it talks to me about the importance of exercise. You know me. I love exercise. I'm muscle mommy. In fact, I just had chest and back day before this. I'm teaching Braylon Emily Young the importance of not skipping leg day. I love me some exercise. It says here, you don't have to be an Olympic athlete to be healthy. Just put down that video game. And I just wrote rude. I don't have to put down the video game if I don't want to. This was 1998. What video games was I even putting down? Pac-Man? That's awfully rude of you to ask me to put down Pac-Man and then sell me $150 American Girl scale Pac-Man machine, Pleasant Company. I love my American Girl doll scale Pac-Man machine. Braylon Emily plays it all the time. But that's okay because she also doesn't skip leg day. Rollerblade to a friend's house or dance to your favorite music. The busier you keep your body, the better you'll feel. So I guess all American girls live in the fucking suburbs, don't they? Just don't. No girl can look and feel her best with cigarette smoke, alcohol, or drugs in her body. I beg to differ. Though drinking and smoking may seem grown up, the truth is they're bad for your health, and drugs can destroy your family and future. That is true. A smart girl turns her back and walks away from so-called friends who put pressure on her to just try it. I read this, and I had all of these things in health class and everybody telling me just say no to drugs. So imagine my shock when I went to high school and no one liked me enough to offer me free drugs. Not one person offered me free drugs the entire time I was in high school. I guess I wasn't cool enough. When I was in college, I got offered weed all the time in frat houses, but that's because I'm hot. Let me know in the comments below if you were also disappointed when no one ever offered you free drugs either. They really made it seem like it was gonna happen. I was all ready to just say no. I didn't even have the option. No was thrust upon me because no one was offering me drugs in the first place. This was the page that I hate the most in the book. Are you ready for a little snark? The hair care page. This hair care page is the waspiest shit I ever read. When I say this page is waspy, I mean it is about a specific hair type and it is about a specific hair texture, and it treats it like that is the universal way to care for your hair. Let me tell you something, advice like this absolutely destroyed my hair for years growing up. I had no idea how to properly care for my hair until I was like halfway through high school, and even now I'm still learning new things. And I'm white, dude. Imagine being a young black girl reading this book and being told this type of hair advice. Okay, you guys ready? Start your everyday grooming routine right at the top with clean, shiny, freshly combed hair. You're telling me to comb my hair every day? I don't think I've combed my hair in years. Also, the fact was, at the time I was reading this book, I could not get combs through my hair. Comb teeth broke in my hair. I had to get these like heavy-duty industrial brushes, and that's before I learned at 15 years old that curly hair of this particular type is not meant to be brushed. I went to a hairstylist when I was 15 years old, and I was like, why is my hair always frizzy? Why does it never lay right? Why is it always painful? Why is dragging the brush through it making me want to cry every single morning as I yank tangles out and feel the absolute wrath of Satan upon my skull? And the hairdresser was like, you're not supposed to brush curls. And I was like, I didn't have to do this all along. I stopped brushing my curls. I started putting gels and creams in my hair. Now I have absolutely gorgeous hair, okay? Let's talk about some of the ways that this is very specific to one type of hair, okay? Do keep it clean. As you get older, your hair may get more oily. Keep it clean by washing it regularly. For most girls, this means several times a week. If you're an active athlete or if you have very oily hair, you may want to wash it every day. Use a mild shampoo that's made for your hair type. If your hair tangles easily, use a conditioner to smooth it out. Now, this isn't entirely wrong. Using conditioner has been a lifesaver for me, and it is true that the type of hair you have is going to make it vary how much you wash it. Some girls may have to wash their hair every day. For me, I wash my hair maybe once a week, sometimes twice a week if I'm working out like a lot and my hair ends up like a real mess, but I cannot be drying this out, okay? So I regularly recondition it, I regularly put oils in it and things like that. It is funny though, because some people like, Tyler is a complete opposite of me. It's funny how opposite we are, because he does wash his hair every day. Every morning he wakes up and his hair is soaked with grease, and so he has to fully wash it every day, and then by the next day, or sometimes even by that night, it's oily and greasy again. Meanwhile, for me, I wash my hair once a week, and I have to put oil and grease into it. So it's just a complete opposite. But that goes to show that you can't have one size fits all hair advice. This is where I started to have a real issue. Don't mangle tangles. While your hair is still wet, use a wide tooth comb to detangle small sections. Start with the ends first and work your way up. If you hit a rough spot, don't yank. Gently work the comb through your hair. So first of all, that really depends on your hair type. For me, combs are not supposed to come in 10 feet of this hair, okay? I will walk you guys right now through what my hair care routine is, because, you know, sometimes I've gotten DMs that say, hey, Savvy, I like your curly hair. Can you tell me what your hair care routine is? Here's what I do, okay? I wash my hair about once a week. When I'm in the shower, I wash my hair with, not sponsored by the way, I'm just telling you what products I use. I use Shea Moisture conditioner and shampoo. So first I use the shampoo, and it's the shampoo for the curly hair. It's called like Curl and Shine because my hair gets really dry really easily. So I use that one, and I use that shampoo through it. It does also get tangled easily, especially when it was longer, it got tangled a lot. So what I do for that is I use like a fuckload of conditioner. I just pump. I'm pumping and dumping conditioner on my hand like there's no tomorrow. I work the conditioner through the tangles. No comb. I'm working the tangles out with my fingers with the conditioner because I need to have a layer of slick conditioner oiliness on the hair after I work the tangles out. Then I rinse the conditioner out of my hair right before I get out of the shower. I grab some, I believe it's hair smoothie or maybe hair pudding. It's one of those kind of goopy things. I grab a whole fistful of that. I scrunch it into my hair, then I spray it with an anti-frizz spray. When I go to bed that night, I twist it up, pin it up, put a silk cap over my head, sleep with it like that, and guess what? It stays like this until the next week. That is what I do with my hair. There is no comb, there is no brush, not even in the shower, not coming within 10 feet of my hair at all. If I use a comb or a brush, you know my hair is gonna puff straight out, it's gonna flop all over the place. That is not meant for my hair. So what's important is that you learn what hair routine is going to work best for you. It might involve trying a few different things. It might involve watching some hair tutorials on YouTube. I used to watch a lot of those before I figured out what was working best for me. And now that I have this routine down, I just feel great about my hair every single day. Shea Moisture, please sponsor me. So anyway, no, combs are not right for some of us, okay? This one I don't like at all either. Do use the right tools. Some hair care tools can damage your hair and scalp. Choose a brush with a rubber base and round tipped bristles. Never use a brush on wet hair, which is weaker than dry hair. The brush stretches the hair out and can cause it to break. Use a wide tooth comb instead. Some of us don't use a brush or a comb ever because it's not meant for our hair. And when I would read advice like this and people would try to force forced the brushes and the combs through my hair when I was a child, I thought I just hated my hair. I never liked how it looked, and on top of that, it was painful. It was like, yoink, and I was like, ah! Like, nothing against my mom, dude. You guys know I love my mom. She's great. Somehow, I am the only person in my family with thick and curly hair. And the reason for that is probably that I'm half adopted. Although I am biologically my mom's child, so I don't know why my mom's got thin, straight hair. I was the only one that popped out with thick curly hair. What is the other half of my ancestry? I don't fucking know, but nobody knew how to handle my hair when I was a kid, and because of that it took me a long time, and this book did me no favors whatsoever. Let's move on to this page called Body Talk. Now, I enjoyed these pages in the book when I was a kid because it was where people wrote in with their questions. And I would write to American Girl all the time with my questions, and they never answered any of mine, but then again, that could be because I was trolling them and making my questions ridiculous. We'll talk more about that when we review the help books that I'm going to be reviewing in a couple weeks, okay? First of all, let's look at this one called Cold Sores. I have a big ugly sore on my face right next to my mouth. My mom says it's a cold sore, but I don't even have a cold. This isn't the first time I've had this problem either. How do I get rid of it? And then it talks about how they're caused by a virus similar to the one that causes chickenpox. You know what the virus is called? They're afraid to tell you what the virus is called. They don't tell you the name of the virus in the book. It's called herpes. That's what it's called. It's not genital herpes. It's not sexually transmitted herpes. It's a different strain of herpes. But the virus is called herpes. And that's why it's hilarious. They won't say the name of it in the book because I guess they don't want to get little kids freaking out that they got herpes. I have freckles. I hate them in some kind of lotion that would make my freckles go away. I need help. There's no magic potion or lotion that will make your freckles disappear, but wearing a hat and plenty of sunscreen when you go out in the sun may keep you from getting more spots. And next time you look in the mirror, practice pairing your freckles with a grin. See, smiles and freckles are a winning combo. The fact is, most of us have something we'd like to change about ourselves, but try to think of your freckles as a special feature, something extra that makes you uniquely you. Where does all this freckle hate come from? Why would I not want as many freckles? I love my freckles. Even when I was a kid, I would read books and stuff where the characters were like, ugh, I wish I could get rid of my freckles. And I was like, why? My freckles are adorable. I never knew. I guess this is what's so interesting is that until somebody points these things out to me, often I never know that certain features I have are considered bad. I've told you guys this before, right? When I first watched The Princess Diaries with Anne Hathaway. Okay, first of all, I love the books. Books were better than the movies. However, the movie, I got so confused watching this movie as a kid because I was watching The Princess Diaries and it's the scene where they give Mia the makeover. And I'm like, why does she need a makeover? Mia's fucking gorgeous. Like, as a kid, I just thought she was so beautiful. And then they give her a makeover and her makeover is that they remove her glasses and straighten her hair. Sure, she still looked pretty afterwards because it's Anne Hathaway. She's always gonna look pretty. But I was like, how is this prettier than before? And every time I would ask this to like adults, they'd be like, you can tell she's prettier than before. And I was like, based on what? Thankfully, when I was in college, I told one of my best friends the story and she's like, I had the same moment. I thought she looked better before and no one could explain to me why. Like, when I say this, it's because it took me out of the movie. I was like, why did they make her look worse? It took me out of the movie completely. And that's when I learned that there were cultural stigmas against curly and thick hair. Oh, you know, just because last week I reviewed Jeanette McCurdy's autobiography, let's talk about iCarly real quick. Do you guys remember the episode of iCarly where Carly gives Sam a makeover to make her prettier? Which was insane to me because I was watching iCarly. I was about the same age as the characters. I was like 14 when iCarly came out. I was watching that show and I just thought Sam was just so gorgeous. I was like in love with her. I thought she was the most beautiful woman. And I'm like, why do you need to make her prettier? She's gorgeous. She's absolutely beautiful. And the way Carly makes her prettier is by straightening her hair. I would not have had all of these like internalized hair biases for so long if TV and movies didn't shove them in my face. And this book is just an example once again. The book isn't doing anything wrong because it is telling us to love ourselves the way we are. However, I don't think I would have ever been introduced even to the idea that people didn't like freckles at all. Anyway, I have freckles and I love them. I like this section about underarm hair. If you haven't already sprouted hair under your arms, you will soon. Some girls don't like it. Others aren't bothered by it one little bit. Whether you want to remove it or leave it there is a very personal decision. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's talk about the boobies. This was another page that made me feel alienated when it starts talking about the titties because if you're new here, you may not know, I got breast reduction in February, so about 6 months ago now. By the time I was getting breast reduction, I was a size like 34K, something like that. My boobs were massive, okay? Even when I was a really skinny teenager, my boobs were still huge. I was wearing a G-cup bra by the time I was like 15 15. I was like a freshman in high school having to go to the big titty specialty store where I could only buy one bra a year because they were like $75 a piece. It sucked, dude. So when I was over here reading these sections about how my boobs were gonna grow in soon, I was 9 years old and I was like, pretty sure I already have boobs. I think I've already finished the boob development process. You'll probably start to notice changes in your breasts between the ages of 9 and 12, although some girls start earlier or later. Yeah, I can't remember a time in my life when I didn't have boobs. I mean, I imagine I didn't as a baby. But here's the thing, when I was a little kid, I was fat, and then when I was a teenager, I was skinny. So there was always some boobie from what I remember. There's no way to know how long each stage will last or how long it will take for your breast to become fully developed. Most girls reach stage 5, so it shows 5 stages of breast development. I don't remember any of these 5 stages happening. I just remember always having had giant boobs as long as I can remember. I remember being in 3rd grade and my friends and I were trying to come up with which characters on a TV show we were gonna pretend to be, and one of them told me I had to be a certain character because she had big boobs like I do. I was like, I'm 9, dude. Do I have big boobs? Guess I do. Yeah, I guess so. Most girls reach stage 5 about 4 to 5 years after their breasts begin developing, or around age 17 or 18. And I was like, 17 or 18, god damn. Like I said, I was a freshman in high school. I was wearing a size 36G bra, and that was not fun. Mostly my take on the bra section here is just going to be bitterness. It's going to be emotional biased bitterness. This is my personal opinion. The book did a great job. It did an absolutely fine, beautiful job of teaching us about how breasts grow in and educating young girls on what they're gonna expect, and I think it did it in a very tactful and kind way. If you guys remember, about 2 years ago I reviewed a book from the Usborne Books MLM pyramid scheme called, it was like the growing up book for boys, and it was a boys puberty book, and the way it talked about boobs were like, girls are gonna grow boobs, it's gonna make them look grown up and attractive, and I was like, can we not objectify underage girls, please? Thank you. So I got mad about that. This book isn't like that at all. It doesn't talk about boobs as like an aesthetic thing or like an attractiveness thing. It just talks about them in like a direct way as this is what's going to happen to your body. So I gotta say I really appreciate that. Now, all of my ranting is just going to be bitterness that I had to have a big titty childhood, okay? What if you're ready to wear a bra but you're not ready for the whole world to know? Don't worry, bras come in plenty of neutral colors that will match your skin tone. You don't have to buy the bras with bright colors or eye-popping prints that will show through your shirts. And I was mad because once again, by the time I even started wearing a bra, my boobs were already so big that neutral designs, neutral colors, like beiges and things like that were the only colors even available to me. I don't know why people think that just because your boobs are big, it means you're gonna want boring, solid colors. It's probably because bra sizes that are less common, they make fewer of them, so they'll probably make them in the colors that are gonna sell the most. I get it, supply and demand, whatever. I was just bitter that I never got to have bras in fun colors or with fun patterns or anything like that. Just was never available to me. I will say there is a legitimate problem with the bra sizing chart on page 47. And if you remember when I did my video talking about my breast reduction surgery and the process that I went through with all of that, when I talked in that video, I talked about how a lot of bra sizing is actually incorrect.
Real quick, I think this is important to talk about. There are a lot of misconceptions about bra sizes and how they're measured. If you guys want some information about bra sizes, one place I would recommend looking is there's a subreddit called r/a-bra-that-fits, which has a fantastic calculator for putting in all of your body measurements to find the best size for you. And in addition, there's this Instagram account that one of my viewers sent me recently that I think details this so wonderfully. And that account is called The Irish Bra Lady. I will put up some pictures of it. But you guys, I highly recommend following her on Instagram if you are interested in learning more about how bra fitting works. But the basics of it is your bra band size should be the measurement around your rib cage area, and your bra cup size is if you measure around your chest at the fullest part. You want to, if you're doing this in inches, for example, you'll want to find the difference between those two, right? So like for me, each letter is equivalent to about 1 inch, and this is if you're sizing for US systems. For other countries, I'm not entirely sure. Like, if I have my waist is 33 inches, so either a 32 or a 34 would be the band size. And then for the cup size, if right now it's 39 inches around, that's a 6-inch difference. So I would count 6 up would be A, B, C, D, double D, triple D, right? So that would be triple D. That's why where I got 34 triple D from, right? And I don't know if that's going to be the exact bra size. I'm holding off on buying bras really until then because right now I'm still bandaged here. But a lot of bra stores actually size people completely wrong for the reason that they want to mass produce bras in the most common sizes, and then they want to try to fit as many people as possible into those sizes so that they can sell as many bras as possible. It's a very capitalist, profit-driven way of doing it, and as a result, we get all these memes about, like, isn't it great when we can take off our bra? Bras are so uncomfortable. They feel terrible. Bras aren't supposed to feel terrible, guys. And there's also, with fast fashion and with clothing companies that are trying to just churn out a lot of clothes for a product, we get this sizing system that's like small, medium, large, which lumps a lot of body types into an overall measurement. Not everyone is small. For example, I, for a long time, had a small waist and a triple extra large chest, right? So an entire body may not be one of those things. Plus, the idea of small, medium, large, etc., those things are relative. Small compared to what? Large compared to what? Right? Nothing is objectively small or objectively large, so a lot of these things are really just trying to boil down a variety of body types into the most mass-producible fast fashion kind of thing. And as a result, I think we end up with this misconception that with bra sizes, an A cup is equivalent to extra small, a B cup is small, C is medium, D is large, double D is extra large. But bra sizes are way more complicated than that and do not directly parallel the small, medium, large scale whatsoever. So that's just a quick thing that I wanted to point out there. Please go get yourself sized for a bra. Again, I highly recommend the calculator on the subreddit, A Bra That Fits.
Here's what it says in this book. Measure around your ribs below your breast to get your rib size. Look on the chart to find the number for that size. So it says that if your ribs are 22 to 23 inches, your bra size number will be 28. Or if your rib size is 30 to 31 inches, your bra size number will be 36. This is wrong. This is so wildly wrong. This is what companies like Victoria's Secret try to sell us as a way to squeeze as many people as possible into the most common sizes, and that's why a lot of people end up with a badly fitting bra. If your ribs, if it's around your rib cage is 30 inches, your bra size should be 30. It should not be 36. You may need to get a bigger cup size because of that, which might be harder to find. It is correct on part 2 where it says measure around your chest over your nipples to get your chest size. Subtract the rib number you got above from this size. Look on the chart to find the cup letter. I don't understand why -1, it says cup letter AAA. Maybe I'm just completely ignorant because I've never had a small titty life, but why would you be wearing a bra if your chest is concave? Is it just because you like the style of it? Like, is it like a style choice? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. If your rib size is 22 to 23 inches, your bra size number should probably be 24, not 28. And bras in size 24 are harder to find, again, because they don't make a ton of them. Not as many people have that small of a waist. And that's totally fine, but you may have to go to a bra specialty store, or you may have to find a bra somewhere online, which can be a little harder and more expensive, but it is important to have a size that fits you properly. Then it talks about these different types of bras you can get, which I thought was fun because it's very educational. However, the Underwire bra, girls who wear a C cup or larger may want extra support of an Underwire bra. This bra has a curved wire sewn into the fabric along the bottom of each cup. Dude, I had to wear Underwire bras starting early, and it was the only type of bra I could wear because my boob weight would just go down so hard like that, so I couldn't wear any soft cup bra like they're talking about here. I do think they are extremely oversimplifying it with the way they talk about cup size. It says, you guessed it, soft cup bras are soft and flexible. For most girls who wear a size B cup or smaller, the elastic band in soft cup bra provides all the support they need, plus a comfortable fit. So this is a gross oversimplification. Now that I'm a size double D, I wear soft cup bras, or I usually wear sports bras most of the time now, but I pretty much exclusively don't wear underwires at all anymore. And that's mainly because after surgery, I didn't want a wire chafing up against the scars, but I just don't need an underwire bra anymore. And I am a size double D to E right now when I was a size H to K that I had to wear underwire bras. So again, it's going to depend on your exact measurements. The cup size is going to vary wildly based on the proportions of your chest around versus the proportions of your waist. Don't just go by this oversimplified chart. They have a page in here about EDs, which I thought was really helpful, and I'm glad they had it because this page was my first introduction to the concept of EDs whatsoever when I was a child. I had never even heard about them or knew of them as a concept. So when I learned what they were here, I thought that was very helpful to educate young people about them in a very factual and straightforward way. I really appreciate that. But this page fucked with me. Page 64. People say I'm thin, but I think I need to lose about 15 pounds. I'm 11 years old and weigh a whopping 90 pounds. Don't I need to lose some weight? I just wrote, oh honey, girl, by the time I was 11, I was 120 pounds. But then again, I have a bigger frame, and that really could depend on a lot of things on your size as a person. I was getting close to finishing growing at that point. I've always had broad shoulders, I've always had wide hips, and on top of that, I have scoliosis with two curves that balance each other out, sort of, in my back, and because of that, I'm about 5'6", but my body is proportioned like a woman who's about 5'8", and so I have just like a broader frame. And because of that, I was about 120 pounds by the time I was 11, so I was like, 90 pounds, dude, what? And I appreciate that it's kind of like, yeah, you should ask your doctor, this is very individualized, because it's true, it is. But I was just like, what? You're in the 2 digits and you're worried about that? Which I know, it could be an ED, it could be something like that, but just me even reading that as a kid, being like, I got this book when I was like 9, I think I was almost 100 pounds already when I was 9, so I was like, she's 11? Like, girl. But then again, maybe she was shorter than me, she could have had a different body than me, all of that. I will say I appreciate this advice on page 68. By the way, we're talking about vaginal changes right now. This book is going into the scientific stuff behind genital puberty. I won't say all the words out loud just because I don't want it to get demonetized, but it does talk about ways to prevent infections like yeast infections and things like that, about the importance of, you know, washing things with unscented soap and all of that, which I think is good advice that a lot of times people don't get, and infections are all too common, so I'm glad it talked about that. This book talks about getting your period. This is the first place where I learned what getting your period was, and I somehow had no reading comprehension when I read this book as a child, because here's what it says under the basic facts, the basic introduction to your period. It says, so what's a period anyway? It's short for menstrual period, the period of time each month when fluid containing blood flows out of the uterus through the vagina. The amount is small, only 4 to 6 tablespoons. This flow usually lasts 2 to 8 days. Some girls have a menstrual period every 25 days. Other girls get them up to 40 days apart. It's very clear about the fact that this happens about once every month. My stupid ass read this as a kid, somehow skipped over that whole first paragraph and read all the rest of the stuff about pads and tampons and blood coming out your vag and all that. And my first thought was, this happens forever. I thought it was going to happen to me one day, and then it was never going to stop. One time, my mom was in the public bathroom with me, and she was like, hold on, Sabby, I'm going to take an extra minute because I have my period right now. And I was like, well, yeah, obviously you do. You're an adult. And she was like, what? And then she had to explain to me that it doesn't happen all the time. It happens once a month. And here, I just didn't know that. The book says it. I was waiting to go back and see this because I thought the book just never mentioned that. It did, and I just somehow completely... That part just flew right out of my brain. That was never in there. I don't know. What stupid things did you guys think when you were a kid? Let me know in the comments below. Overall, I thought that this book was really helpful and informative in a lot of ways. I do think it was pretty short-sighted in some ways in that it has a lot of outdated information, misinformation, and information that is just way too narrow in scope. The hair care stuff I almost found offensive. The bra stuff has just the wrong sizing system in it, which is a common misconception about the sizing system. And maybe this is what more people were doing back in the 90s before people actually cared about making bras that fit people right. I don't know. In any case, make sure that you're getting your bras sized correctly because you don't want to be uncomfortable. Other than that, I'm curious, did you guys read this book when you were a kid? What did you think about it? Do you want me to review the guys version as well? Because in the past 2 decades, somewhere along there, they decided to release a male version of this as well, which is very similar other than it doesn't really talk about boobs and stuff. So if you want me to review the male version, let me know in the comments below. But I do have a lot more American Girl self-help books from the 90s, including the series Help, to review, and some of the quiz books and things like that. I had thought this book had quizzes in it. This book didn't have quizzes in it. I was hoping it had quizzes in it, and it didn't. But that's okay, because it was still good. Oh, and I have a manners book, and I have an American Girl doll boss babe book to review, all about how to be a little business owner boss babe kid. That one was probably my favorite, as I'm sure you guys could guess, so I'm going to review that one as well. So stay tuned for more American Girl doll self-help book reviews. Send Braylon Emily your love on my Instagram. I will see you guys again on Monday. In the meantime, please keep on supporting small businesses and have a fantastic start to your weekend. Bye!
Get you some nuts.
There was lots of memes.
Makes me wonder if I should take up lesbianism.
Chicago. You guys asked for it.